end of an era here. And Delaney, as we look at what is reported to be the deal made or in the works, it looks as if the Packers are going to get some picks for Aaron Rodgers.
Definitely. And I was going to say, Goody said not finalized, but he said better be by tomorrow. Insert his smirk and his laugh that he does. But let's take a look at what the Packers are going to get, because they're going to get a lot. They, in fact, get to swap that first round pick. So they move up from 15 to 13, which, yes, doesn't sound like a lot when we're talking numbers, but when we're talking a pick in the first round of the NFL draft, it could be the difference between a hit or miss, or dare I say, somebody who's going to be a new Hall of Famer for the Packers. They get that 15th, or excuse me, they move up to number 13, and the Packers also get a second round pick for this year. So now they have 2 picks in the second round. They will also get a 6th round pick. So total 11 picks altogether, because they are going to give up their 5th round pick to the New York Jets along with Aaron Rodgers. So 11 picks still in total. They'll also possibly get a 2024 pick if Rodgers plays 64% of the season next year, which I think we all know is going to happen.
You know, I think we heard many conversations and questions in there too, Brian Gutekunst, about what is this moment like? I mean, we were all here when Brett Favre was traded to the New York Jets as well. And what does this moment feel like for a general manager and really for a team when you say goodbye to a future Hall of Famer and 4-time MVP?
Well, the things he said when he was referring to the future Hall of Famer and 4-time MVP.
Yeah.
You know, we're chasing Super Bowls. The unspoken word, we're going to do better at that without Aaron Rodgers. We want to get better next season, but we're going to be able to do that best without Aaron Rodgers. We were an 8-9 team last season.
That's what stuck out to me.
We can improve upon that without Aaron Rodgers.
And he also made a point about Jordan Love and how good Jordan Love was looking last year, and to have him sit behind Aaron Rodgers for one more year essentially didn't make sense in his words.
Well, it did make sense, but it didn't make sense when it comes to the timing of everything. Time was not on the side when it comes to the Packers having the best things with Aaron Rodgers, but also having the best things with Jordan Love, because his deal was going to be up and he was going to want more money. And if Rodgers still thought, you know, God forbid Rodgers have another MVP season out of nowhere.
What do you do then?
Yeah, you got to pay him because his deal left room for that. So it was time against the Packers. I think they would all agree that they'd love to keep Rodgers for as long as they could, possibly. They'd love for Jordan Love to grow under him, but timing was not on their side. And then whether they want to admit it or not, the cat and dog relationship that Goody and Rodgers ended up having at the end, then you had Rodgers wanting a new home. He didn't even want to be in the building. He wanted to move on. So we're going to go to Tom Silverstein, who joins us from the Journal-Sentinel. He was actually in the room, and he's been covering this for quite some time. Tom, I want to start by asking you, because we talked about this at the NFL Combine, how Goody would not address Aaron Rodgers by name. He would only say the player or the situation. Now that the deal is done, do we feel like this is official, it's going to move on, and we're never going to hear the name Aaron Rodgers, at least out of Gutekunst's mouth, until he retires?
Well, that's possible. That's possible. But I think you'll hear Aaron Rodgers for many, many years around here. I don't think that name will go away, just like it didn't go away for Brett Favre. But for Gutekunst and the current team, all their chips are on Jordan Love now. And it has been that way since the day they told Rodgers they didn't want him back. And so they're all in on Jordan Love, and that's the name you're going to be hearing most often.
Now, Goody kind of said the growth that he's had over the years. However, people love to look at stats, and if we look at stats, his best game arguably was against the Philadelphia Eagles back in November. Do we feel like 6'9", 6'4'9", 113 yards, is that enough to say Jordan Love is going to be successful year one?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. We have no idea how this plays out over the course of 17 games. It's a whole nother ballgame. Now, you know, you get little snippets from something like that. You know, if you want to be historical, you can go back and look at Aaron Rodgers in his third year. He subbed for Favre in a game against Dallas, looked really good. And the next thing you know, he is the starting quarterback and does fine. Now, I don't know if that's going to happen with Love, but you saw progression over 3 years. Now they just need to find out, you know, what can he do in the course of a game? Will he ever be the kind of guy who can command a game and push the Packers, over the top?
Now, Tom, I'm curious because Packers fans have been reading your work and your coverage of the Packers for decades here in this state. What was your sense today listening to Brian Gutekunst pretty much laying out the trade of Aaron Rodgers?
Relief, I think. I think they've been just wanting to get it done. And, I think they've been on the cusp of getting it done. And it was just a little, chicken race. They were just playing chicken with each other. Like the way it's structured, you can tell that it's a compromise. The Packers wanted a first-round pick in 2024. They were fine with a second-round pick this year, but they really wanted a first next year. So what did they do? Well, they swapped picks this year. They swapped the fifth for sixth, and then they made it conditional on him playing 65% to get the first-round pick. So, it add it all together, and it's probably about what they started with. It just looks a little bit different. I do know, talking to a personnel guy from a rival team just now, he said this was exactly what he predicted: a second this year and first conditional, or a conditional second that could turn into a first next year. So I think around the league, that's pretty much what was expected.
Tom, this has not been an unacrimonious process here. I'm trying to make it sound as good as I can. Delaney and I have joked in the newsroom, this is a really bad breakup that we have been watching unfold on television and in social media over the past couple of months here. Even today, as you hear Gutekunst saying, yeah, Rodgers is up there in age, that there's no conversation between them anymore.
That he hasn't spoken to him.
Yeah, that they haven't spoken. This is a Super Bowl winner and a four-time MVP leaving your franchise. Is this just business in the NFL today, that you can be this cold to somebody who has been so important for your team for so long?
It is business. That's how business works in the NFL. And, unfortunately, I'm old enough to have been through all of the Brett Favre thing, too, when he and Ted Thompson were not speaking terms either, and his family hated Ted Thompson. And it's just the role that the general manager puts himself in, because he's in charge of the long-term future of the organization. And so he's the one who has to make these decisions. But I will also say, Aaron Rodgers is not the easiest guy in the world to get along with. And the Packers did a lot to put up with all those things that, that can, frustrate you. And they did everything they could for him. They paid him a lot of money. And I think they just were ready to wash their hands of the whole thing and move on.
Well, Tom, thank you so much for joining us. We're going to let you go because I know you have a lot of words to put to paper today, my friend. So thank you so much for joining us.
It's a pleasure. Anytime.
It was nice to hear from you, Tom. Thank you. All right, let's get to our Lance Allen, who was also in the room with Brian Gutekunst this afternoon in that news conference talking about Aaron Rodgers and his movement to the Jets. Lance, what did you take away from Brian Gutekunst's comments this afternoon?
Well, it's kind of interesting, Susan, because the first thing was, 20 minutes before he came up in front of the podium right here in the auditorium is when the news kind of first broke. And then we were like, okay, obviously he's scheduled to speak in 20 minutes. And Brian, pretty much a stand-up guy, came right to the podium and did deliver the message. But he said basically and kept saying repeatedly it has not been finalized. Now, whether that's, the league office signing off on all of the picks and things like that, or whether they're still, haggling about a few certain things. But it seems like the framework, obviously, is pretty much in place. We thought that this was kind of going to be the week because you would think that the Packers would obviously want that draft pick compensation before the draft on Thursday, and the Jets would kind of want to have their guy so that way going forward after the draft that they could have him in place for the off-season camps. The Packers off-season conditioning camp is going as we speak, and then later on it'll be the OTAs and the mini camps and all that stuff to kind of learn the system, even though Aaron Rodgers is an extremely bright individual and a very good quarterback, obviously a future Hall of Fame quarterback. Kind of want to get him into your system and things like that. So Brian Gutekunst's talking about that as well. And then I asked Brian flat out, basically like, okay, was this a situation where are you happy for Jordan Love, happy or just at least relieved that this is in the rearview mirror? And he said, they are in the early stages of the offseason program. Guys are kind of working back into it, so they're mainly focused on that. And usually the mind of an athlete is such that they kind of tune out the noise. Even in the offseason, they don't listen to it quite as much. I'm sure that now Jordan Love fully knows that he is the leader of the Green Bay Packers going forward in 2023. So that's the situation up here for now. Draft pick compensation, getting more draft picks for this year, and obviously building toward the future, whether you want to say the Packers are rebuilding, reloading, whatever you want to say. That's the situation up here. And quite frankly, they weren't good enough last year. They were 8-9, so they have a few things that they got to work on.
And Lance, I want to kind of go to that because this was a meeting that was already set up. It's required by the NFL for GMs to meet prior to the NFL draft. So this isn't like this was anything special or we expected it to happen today. However, it did. Goody said something that struck out to me. He's not looking at it in the window of making Jordan Love successful. He's looking at the draft of picking the best player possible. However, should a wide receiver, or as we're seeing in this draft, a tight end be there at number 13, would that be the ultimate smack in the face?
Wouldn't that be delicious and ironic, Delaney? Yeah, that would be just unbelievable, and that could happen. I truly think that the Packers, they obviously the way you sell it to your fan base, the way you sell tickets or whatever is saying, hey, we're in it. And let's look at the positives and the negatives. So the positives are that the division, the NFC North, is not exactly a juggernaut. The Bears are still rebuilding. Yeah, they have cap space and they have a young quarterback they believe in, but I still think they're a little bit a ways away. The Vikings have lost 4 starters on defense, could lose even more. To me, they are a regressing team, not a progressing or ascending team. And then you have the Lions that are everybody's, odds-on favorite to win the division, but they just had the gambling scandal go down. And Jamal Williams, Delaney, you've covered him. Is he a superstar? No, not by any means. But he's one of those guys that in the locker room is just infectious. And a lot of times fans and even those of us in the media kind of take that stuff for granted, that even if a guy isn't a superstar, even though if he's just a good player, that's a hole that they're going to have to fill in that locker room. That guys got behind him. He had one of those magical years last year. That is going to be very tough to replace. So the situation going forward for the Green Bay Packers is, hey, they feel like, hey, we were 8-9 last year with a future Hall of Fame quarterback, and we could be once again in the mix for the NFC North title. They obviously, by rebuilding, reloading, whatever you want to look at, I think the division is winnable. Now, can they do it right away? It remains to be seen. And yes, I still think that they are, in some places needing to obviously insert a little more life, a little more depth, a little more whatever you want to say. But I do think that they feel like around Jordan Love, they have a decent team. They're certainly building for the future. There's no, yes, you want to win every single year, but there's no rush to just, get basically some guy in there that you just have to obviously, just because you need a position, you draft that position or whatever. They're truly drafting mostly the best available player. I know it's a cliche, but it's true. And I do think that they have a good team around him, and they can supplement that, and then another year or 2 or 3, they can be right in the mix for where they want to be, and that's competing for Super Bowls.
If you're just joining us right now, we continue our special breaking news coverage of this report that Rodgers traded to the Jets, just finalizing deals, according to General Manager Brian Gutekunst. And Lance, I'm curious, you were at that news conference that just ended a short time ago, and Gutekunst made a point of saying that he has so much respect and gratitude for Rodgers, but hasn't talked to him. And Tom Silverstein, I think, said something really interesting about that is just business in the NFL. What was your takeaway when Gutekunst said that?
Yeah, it's always been kind of like the awkward situation, the awkward breakup, passive aggressive, whatever terms you want to use right now. That's kind of seems to be where we're at with this thing, where the organization's not going to say anything bad on the way out the door, but it is kind of weird that it's kind of just water under the bridge or whatever you want to talk about, where Brian has basically, the GM has talked to the agent, Dave Dunn, but not really anything. Rodgers not wanting to talk, and both sides not really wanting to converse and things like that, and that's their prerogative. But obviously, it just seems like bygones be bygones, and you're right. It just kind of got into one of those awkward situations where they just felt like, well, it's time to move on. And whether you agree or don't agree or whatever you want to say, it just feels like it's kind of time to move on, so to speak.
I know you're going to have a unique perspective on this because of what you've done in your career here in Milwaukee. We've been through this before with a franchise quarterback acrimoniously leaving the Green Bay Packers. And then once he's in the Hall of Fame, 6 or 7 years down the line, there is the great moment on the 50-yard line in the middle of Lambeau Field where all is forgiven and you are welcomed back into the family with open arms. Are you expecting that to happen again here 6 or 7 years down the line? All this awfulness for months is forgotten, and Aaron Rodgers, let's get your name up in the ring of glory.
I was one of the guys on the 50-yard line, one of the two guys on the 50-yard line when the bridge obviously was rebuilt. So yes, Steve, I mean, Packers Nation, they have a long memory, and obviously for a while things will be tenuous and things will be tight and things will be kind of strained, but I do think that eventually people will realize the good times more than these times and things like that, but it will take some time. And the other risk and the other gamble in this is, we don't fully know. Anybody who tells you exactly what Jordan Love's going to be, they're either a fool or a liar. Because we've only seen glimpses of what Jordan Love can do. He could be very, very good. He could be great. He could be a good quarterback. Whatever it is, we don't know. And until he develops and gets to play for a full year or 2 years, you don't fully know what a quarterback is in the NFL. And the risk is similar to what you're hinting at. Brett Favre, 15 years ago, going to the Jets, he was injury plagued, only lasted there a year, went to the Vikings, and they came a whisker. They were in overtime, an interception, dare I say, within to make the Super Bowl. And so the risk is that you trade away a future Hall of Famer, and if the Jets either make the Super Bowl, go to the Super Bowl, or whatever happens in New York, obviously Aaron Rodgers would look like a hero, and the Packers would look probably not so good by trading away a quarterback like that and getting them back into the picture in the AFC. And they feel like, okay, this is one of the key components. That's why you give up all that draft capital, swapping first-round picks, giving up maybe a conditional first-round pick next year, depending on if he plays 65% or more of the plays next year, and then giving up a second-rounder and a sixth-rounder this year, and whatever the compensation ends up being and being finalized. That's a lot, but they feel like it's definitely worth it to get them to where they want to go and somewhere they haven't been in a long time. Let's face facts. The reason why they did it for Brett Favre in the first place 15 years ago was to try to get their franchise quarterback. They've struggled in the wilderness ever since then. So they desperately want to have that guy to lead them to where they want to go, and that's the promised land.
For those of you tuning in for TMJ4 News at 4, we're in breaking news mode right now as it's the end of an era up in Green Bay. General Manager Brian Gutekunst took the podium there at Lambeau Field just about 40 minutes ago to announce it's time to move on. Let's go back in time and listen in.
And obviously, Aaron's up there in age and has I don't know however many years he has. I think he's got some really good football left in him. But I think for us, it was just as we got through the offseason and started talking about where we wanted to go. This made a little bit of sense for us. We wanted to get his input, like I've told you guys in the past, and would have loved to have that and kind of see where he sat with that. That didn't happen. That was a little bit unfortunate and disappointing for me. But at the same time, I just think, as we move forward, we're really excited where Jordan can go. He needs to play, and having him sit another year, I think, would have really delayed kind of, where we're going and what we're trying to build.
That was Brian Gutekunst about a short time ago. What was also interesting is, remember when Aaron Rodgers went on the Pat McAfee show? Was that like a month ago or something like that?
Feels like a month ago.
Yeah, I know, right? And and we all thought, all right, is this happening here or not? And then there was this silence as they were working out compensation, we think. And so now we have an idea of what that compensation package could look like.
Yes, and if you ask me, right now, as it stands today, it looks like the Packers got exactly what they wanted, and they got the better half of the deal. They're swapping that first round pick, so they're moving up from 15th to 13th. Again, doesn't seem like a lot in the NFL draft. It is. They're also getting a second round pick this year. So now that's 2 second round picks. Again, a big deal when it comes to quote unquote rebuilding or reloading. They're also going to get a 6th round pick. They're sending their 5th round pick to the Jets. That's the only pick that the Packers are giving up, other than, of course, Aaron Rodgers, your Hall of Fame quarterback. They're also going to possibly get a conditional pick, 2nd round pick in 2024, should Rodgers play 65% or more. Of course, we know that that's probably going to happen. But one thing I want to say off of that Gutekunst bite that we just heard from him, he is making it sound like this is something that they just needed to do because Jordan needed to play, and he's trying to sell it as a gradual. I don't think he wants to give the impression that Aaron Rodgers got exactly what he wanted, when I think we all know Aaron tried to use as much power as he possibly could. You mentioned that Pat McAfee show. He went on there and he said, my intention was to play for the Jets and nobody else. That's asking for Pat. I don't know what else you're doing. I want to play for the Jets. I don't want to play for the Packers. They had to get this done or they were going to be stuck with his contract because he was going to retire.
Well, we have a soundbite from Brian Gutekunst talking about the compensation package, so let's listen in.
Yeah, I think once we do get it squared away, that'll be a nice feeling because we'll kind of actually know exactly what we have for this particular draft, going into it at least until we start moving around a little bit. But yeah, I think, again, moving forward with compensation in this year's draft was important to us.
They wanted it now.
Yeah.
They didn't want this to be a next year. And had it dragged on past Friday, it would have been a next year situation.
Dare I say, if this wouldn't have got done before the draft, I don't know if it would have gotten done at all.
Interesting.
I honestly believe that because it just, at that point, it wouldn't have been worth it for anybody.
All right, stay with us and have more thoughts with Bill Laney and Lance, and we're going to stay on top of this Aaron Rodgers story. We're going to take a short break on this breaking news, and we'll be right back.